Hello everyone, and welcome to Cozy Flannel Recipes, the only cooking show on YouTube. Today, as you can see, I'm in my cozy flannel. We'll be making a recipe that's sure to warm us up inside and out, the vegetables for which are spread before me. To start, we're going to take half of one onion, I went with yellow, exactly 5 leaves of spinach, I'm just kidding, we're going to use much more than that, 1 whole bell pepper, I went with yellow, a few cloves of garlic, and to spice things up, 2 whole jalapeños. First, we're going to want to peel it, and you're going to want to make this step as humanly awkward as possible. Seriously, just make it really awkward. I mean, how do you even peel an onion? How do you, maybe turn it? Yeah, scrape it. Sure, it's a good idea. Once you have managed to peel the onion, it's time to dice. We're going to start with 3 horizontal cuts on the onion, going from tip to root, getting as close to the root as possible. Then we're going to make 10 to 12 vertical cuts on the onion, again getting as close to the root as possible. This sets us up perfectly, because now all we have to do is to thinly slice the onion and it comes out beautifully diced. If you did this right, your eyes should be dry and you should be in no pain at all, just as I am. Oh my word. See? Perfect. Next is the garlic. Let's break the bulb apart and take out all the cloves we need. 1, 2, 3, 4. That ought to be good. There are a few ways to peel garlic. Personally, I like to do the simpler, less violent way of simply smacking the individual cloves with the flat of a blade to break the skin, and then peeling the loosened skin off. After this, we're simply going to cut those weird, rough, gross bits off the end of the garlic, and there you go, beautifully peeled garlic. Next up is the bell pepper. I used to cut the bell pepper wrong until I finally learned the proper way. Simply cut the stem short and then get it out of the way, stand it up straight, and then along the obvious bulb parts of the pepper, simply cut down, curving the knife towards the bottom in a crescent-like fashion. I was both amazed at this and embarrassed that I had never thought of it before. This is Joe. Joe used to cut peppers wrong and get sticky seeds everywhere that were incredibly frustrating to throw away. Don't be like Joe. Next, we're going to simply cut these into strips, turn sideways, and cut into small cubes similar in size to our diced onions. Fun fact, the white stuff inside of the pepper is called pith. Fascinating, right? Now next time you're trying to sound smart to your boss, or you finally have a conversation going with your crush and then suddenly there's dead air, you can be like, hey, did you know that weird white gross stuff on the inside of peppers is called pith? This will not only effectively end the conversation, but you will be able to see firsthand that there are indeed worse things than awkward silences. Next, we're going to get a bunch of spinach. I have about 85 grams worth, or 2 cups once it's chopped. We're just going to chop, regroup, then chop again. Do this until the spinach is in tiny pieces. Now let's go on to jalapeños. I recommend wearing gloves, even though I did not. We're going to cut the stem off and then split them lengthwise. Then using a small spoon, we're going to clean out all of that pith and all those seeds. Cleaning out the seeds is crucial as this is where most of the spice comes from. As you can see, I'm cutting them into thin slices, half a pepper in size. These are going to cook down and mellow out in the pan. You can take these completely out of the recipe if you would like, but I would recommend adding them in. They add a lot. And there you have it, our vegetables are prepared. Next, let's get to the bean part of the beef bean dip, homemade refried beans. This is a slow and grueling process, and at times you may be wondering if it's even worth it, yet when you have finally succeeded where others have failed, when you're standing on the pinnacle of success looking over your delicious refried beans, realizing that all your hard work has led to this place, yeah, just use a can. It's easier. Now we come to sautéing the vegetables. Everything here is fairly standard. A little bit of oil in the bottom of a non-stick pan, medium-high heat, wait for it to get hot while you do other things thinking you are out of frame. At this point, add your onions, spread them out, and wait for them to caramelize. I like to add the onions first because I like them to get a little bit more color than the rest of the vegetables. I'm going to leave them in about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to add my peppers, both bell and jalapeno. Give everything a good stir, then swirl and shake the pan vigorously because it makes the pretty colors look like fireworks. Sauté for a couple more minutes, give it a little bit more of a stir, until all the vegetables start to look clear and they start to soften up in the pan, about 3 minutes. When this is done, we can finally get on to browning the beef. I'm going to add a touch more olive oil before adding my brick of meat. About a pound should do. We're still on medium-high heat, and we're going to spread out whatever isn't thawed yet. Next, let's add some spices. 1 tablespoon paprika, 1 tablespoon cumin, 1 teaspoon black pepper, a pinch of white pepper, a pinch of cayenne. Stir it up real good, make sure all the spices are in every corner, and then add your refried beans. Again, mix everything up really good. At this point, we're going to lower the temperature down to medium-low. Next up is cheese. We're going to have a mixture of 60 grams medium cheddar, 50 grams Monterey Jack, and 20 grams parmesan reggiano. We're going to mix that in real quick, encouraging it to melt. Also, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cheese whiz. I personally like cheese whiz. I know it's not real cheese, but it's a guilty pleasure of mine. If you don't like it, I would just add some American-style cheese. This is going to add a little bit of gooiness to the recipe. And finally, some cream, and that should be the end of the dairy. Now we're on the home stretch. I'm going to add the spinach, followed immediately by the vegetables from earlier. Give everything a good stir, spread it out evenly, and let it bubble for a minute or 2. Now let's talk hot sauce. Whatever sauce you use, make sure it's high quality. If you choose none, that's fine too. Definitely don't hurt yourself. As you can see, I'm only adding about 5 drops of this stuff. And finally, it's time to plate up. A couple scoops in a bowl. Unfortunately, this recipe is visually lacking, so let's dress it up a little bit. I'm going to add some cheese, chips, some sour cream. Now, I thought the green onions would be a nice garnish and add some much needed color, but sadly something happened that many of you are probably familiar with. Warning, this may trigger some of the females in the audience. Where's our green onions?
Bottom right drawer on the very right side of the...
Surprisingly enough, they were not in the bottom right-hand drawer on the right-hand side, but had completely vanished, forcing me to go with grape tomatoes. The green onions are still missing to this day, and if you happen to see them, just tell them we wish them all the best, and we hope that they're happy. The tomatoes, I feel, were a better choice anyways, and they worked rather well due to their acidity. As I said before, this dish is the epitome of understatement. While its looks are boring, it has depth and richness, with a nice variety of texture and flavor that will play poke-a-toke with your taste buds. This dish isn't difficult to make, but it takes a little bit of time and preparation. However, it is more than worth it as far as I'm concerned, and is more than good enough to earn a crooked smile from me. So let's break this dish down. First up, the macros. This dish comes out to 52% fat, 21% carbs with 7 grams of fiber and 27% protein. I'm dividing the dish into 4 servings. Peppers are actually not vegetables, but fruit, derived from the nightshade family and native to South America. They are also related to chilies and tomatoes. Peppers are high in vitamin C and vitamin B6. Spicy peppers such as jalapeños contain a chemical called capsaicin, which has benefits including increased fat burning, boosting your metabolism, and reducing appetite. Side note, the type of vitamin B6 in peppers is the chemical pyridoxine, which is important for the formation of red blood cells. Moving on to onions and garlic. Garlic is high in manganese and vitamin B6, and onions contain large quantities of vitamin C, vitamin B9, and potassium. Which is good, because the average American is missing out on over 1/3 of their daily recommended amount of potassium, which helps in things like cellular and kidney function. Onions and garlic belong to the allium genus of flowering plants, which also include leeks and shallots. Overall, these vegetables will improve your overall health as they are extremely nutrient-dense. They are both high in antioxidants, which reduce inflammation and cholesterol. They also have been proven to reduce the risk of cancer when implemented regularly into a diet, including stomach cancer. Now let's move to spinach. Spinach is well deserving of its good name. In fact, it's a superfood, too awesome for my camera to stay in focus apparently. It's part of the amaranth family, including beets and quinoa, only better because, there's a chance you might actually like spinach. It's high in antioxidants, nutrients, and fiber, and has a number of vitamins, including vitamin A, C, and K1, which is essential for blood clotting. In fact, one spinach leaf has over half your daily needs of vitamin K1. It is also high in vitamin B9 or folic acid, which is essential for cell function and tissue growth. Now let's talk about cheese. Cheese is high in protein and contains healthy amounts of good bacteria and enzymes. It should be noted that the last 2 are reduced when the dairy is pasteurized. It was once thought that cream and dairy fat in general were responsible for heart disease, but this has been proven to be false. In fact, cheese is classified as a whole food and contains vitamin B12, and dairy in general has large amounts of vitamin A, which is good for eye health. Dairy contains these in the form of fat-soluble vitamins, and it's been proven that full-fat dairy is healthier than low-fat dairy as it contains more vitamins and those can be absorbed quicker due to them being fat-soluble, resulting in lower diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. Finally, let's talk about the 3 remaining components of our dish. Pinto beans are a complex carbohydrate and a good source of thiamine, which helps convert food into energy. It's also high in fiber, with 1/3 of its carbs being fiber. It's also high in antioxidants. Beef is extremely nutrient dense and of course high in protein. It contains vitamin B12 and zinc, as well as all 9 essential amino acids. Beef fat is called tallow and contains other healthy acids such as stearic acid and CLA. When beef is consumed appropriately, it has large benefits and can even help you lose weight. Cumin promotes digestion by helping release bile, which in turn digests fat and nutrients in the gut. Overall, if this dish was split into 4, one serving would be 453 calories. It would have a higher value of fat than you would want, but its protein would be right where you want it. It has a large amount of vegetables, which is good. On a scale between pretentiously healthy, like quinoa, and indulgent, I'm gonna put it a little right of center. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video. What did you think? Please let me know if you've made this dish, and if you know someone who would enjoy it, please share it with them. Special thanks to my wife for providing the piano music and also helping search for the green onions. If there's questions or if you have suggestions for future videos, please let me know, and I will be back soon with another cozy flannel recipe. Until next time, stay thankful, stay humble, stay cozy. God bless.